guys, welcome to Coco Creates. I'm Zoe and this is Coco. It's 31st of October today and I didn't really fancy dressing up, so I dressed up Coco instead. So she's in the only little outfit I've got for her, which is a little Santa suit. So yeah, so she's all dressed up to come and greet you all on our channel today. So yeah, so I'm just going to pause here and take this off because I don't think she really wants to sit with it on for the next 2 hours. So yeah, so I'm just going to pause this and take this off of her so she feels a bit better. So there we go, she's a bit happier now, she's had some treats. So there we go. So yes, so welcome to my channels. This is, so if you're new, this is a Flosstube channel, so which is a channel all about cross stitch and sort of the needle crafts that I sometimes have, and Coco sometimes makes an appearance too. So there you go, so that is what this channel is about. If you're not new, so if you're returning, thank you for coming back, thank you for tolerating me so and coming back to join me. So this month, so I think I've kind of got it now with my doing a monthly video. I think I can handle that. So we're going to do monthly. So this is October's video. Right, so I worked on 4 things this month, and the first one being my Queen of the Deep sal, which is a sal that is done by Autumn Lane Stitchery. It's also known as the Not a Mermaid sal. So it's a mystery stitch along. So sal is stitch along. And it's done on, this was I got the kit through from, I got the kit from a person whose name I will put here because I can't remember. Under the Sea Fabrics, maybe. But yeah, so this is this is the even weave. I think I got the 32 count even weave. So yeah, and this is September and October's part all done. So September's part was the 3 fishes, and then October was the, when I can hold it properly, was the lady. Oh wait, I lied, it's not all done. I couldn't get any 550. My LNS is sold out, so I'm waiting for some of that colour to come in, which fills in this little gap. But apart from that, it's all done. So ready for tomorrow when the November piece comes out. So I'll be pulling this one out tomorrow to start working on that. But yeah, so I have like a few people on the group. So there's a Facebook group for this. I'm pretty sure it's called Queen of the Deep sal, but I will link it, write it somewhere. So yeah, so someone mentioned about doing the skin 1/1 and what bit was the skin. And this kind of bluey colour, this is her skin here, that's her belly button. So that's her skin. And yeah, and I have, is it going to focus? No. Literally every time I record, I'm trying to get it to focus and it never does it? But anyway, this is over 1. So I might actually put a better picture in here. So yeah, so I decided to do the skin 1/1, and I've sort of feathered it in a bit. So rather than it being, than me taking every stitch that was and making that into 4 stitches, I've tried to then also put a 1/4 stitch on the next one and sort of round some of the corners off. You'll see a bit better on the picture, on the close-up. But yeah, so it doesn't look as blocky. So that's what I've tried to do there, to sort of round them in. I did do that from sort of as I went, sort of from sight. So what I did is I did all the skin and then I went and filled in the colour around it, because then I knew where, if I had any half stitches that I needed to do, I knew that afterwards. But the rest of it I'm not sure, because I think she's got quite a lot of skin going up, so I might not be able to do it from sight. So I might have to print the pattern piece off and then sketch on it how I'm going to round the pieces. So I don't know, I'll have to wait until the piece comes out. But yeah, and then I've got a couple of park threads there because I know that, well, I say I know, but I'm pretty sure these colours are going to carry on going. They're not just going to like stop in the middle. So that's what I'm thinking anyway. So that's why they're parked there. So that's that one. So 5 minutes in, all I've done is tell you about this one whip. But yeah, but I really like this fabric. I'm a bit jealous of the people that have darker fabrics than this. So this is quite a light one. But you know, it is nice. So I think as I get further in, it is growing on me. So yes, so there we go. So that is that one, and that is in my Love You More Studio Co bag from Love You More Studio. I think if you hop over onto Michelle Bendy, her account, she is a rep and she has a discount code over there that you can use for these, which is the code that I use when I buy. So there we go. So that was my first bit, and then I dug out my supersize Haid. So this is the only supersize one that I've got. I haven't sort of rolled it down very well, so you can't see too much. Okay, hold up. Let's unroll some of these parked threads a little bit. But this is how far I have got now. So try and find somewhere to balance it. Right, oh, you got all my parked threads everywhere. Let's hook those over there and wrap that one around there. Oh wait, I've got another chunk of them down here. Oh, I thought I was all organised as well. There we go. Right, so this is a max colour one, hence the ridiculous number of parked threads. I use Pattern Keeper for this, so on there I mark where I'm parking my threads, so it's not as confusing as it looks. And yeah, so I have a couple of seals here, sea lions, seal. These are seals, these are sea lions. Then I've got a polar bear, and then this is another polar bear, so you can just see her paws, front paws there, so her head is about here, so I haven't quite got to that yet. But also, if I can get it not in the light, or in the light, sorry, not in the shadow. This is the bottom of the next shelf. This is the divider, and this is part of the woodlands, so the next shelf is some wooded area, and I've got some flowers coming out in there, which you can't really see very well on the camera because all the colours merge together. But yeah, but that's how far I've got. So I think I have another 10,000 stitches to do in this by the end of the year, which is quite a lot, but I think I can do that. So fingers crossed. I think I worked out it's about 2 weeks of stitching, so hopefully I can get there and meet that one. So yeah, so I love this piece. I just love looking at this piece. It's done on a so it's done on a 2/1 tent stitch. Yeah, 2/1 tent stitch on a 28 count even weave. So I think it's a Murano or a Lugana, one of the two. It's a 28 count, and it was in a sort of a coffee colour, coffee brown colour. But yeah, so that is that one. Oh, and I've signed it here. I've put, that's my name, or my initials, and the year that I started it. So just so I don't forget. But yeah, so let's try and lie all those threads neatly down so that I can reclip them back on after the video and rewrap this back up. So, whoops, and put the front guards back on. Right, there we go. So I suppose the one downside to having a frame that big is it is very awkward to sort of carry around and lift around, and I think I've just thrown some stuff on the floor. Please hold. There we go. Sorry, so I always tend to forget how big it is, so I pile up sort of next to me on each side all the stuff that I've got to show you, and then get that giant thing out and throw all my piles all over the floor. But there we go, all sorted. So where are we going next? So next I got out my Mirabilia. So this is Portrait of Veronica. So, oh, I didn't get the picture thingy out. There we go. So that's that one there. So yeah, lots of greens. Again, possibly a picture that wasn't in focus. But yeah, lots of greens. I've decided to do this one sort of as a tribute to Marie Curie and the Radium Girls. I think most people know what Marie Curie did, but just in case, she basically sort of discovered radium and some other kind of radioactive elements, and studied them, and sort of looked at their uses sort of in the medical field. I think it sort of sprung on from there, but her main role was sort of, you know, understanding radium and how to use it. So there we go. And the Radium Girls were basically girls that suffered because of using radium. So they radium was, in its time, was a magical element. It glowed, it made people glow, everyone thought it made people feel better, and because it glowed, it was used on sort of watch dials and airplane dials, because they glowed in the dark, so you'd paint the numbers on, and the girls would, you know, that was their job, was to paint these numbers, and they would be taught to lick the brush to get a nice fine point, and dip it in the radium and paint the number, and then lick the brush with the radium on it. And I mean, radium was used in lots of products before they realised how much damage it caused, but it did cause a lot of damage with those girls, and many of them died because of radium poisoning, radiation poisoning, and sort of their jaws fell apart basically, because they were constantly putting it in the mouth. And I do have a book. Is it within reach? Possibly not. No, it's not. Of all the books I have, and it's not the one that's right here. But yes, there is a book written by an author that actually lived in Peterborough, which is where I'm from. So, and it's called The Radium Girls. So, and I would highly recommend that book there. But anyway, after that miniature lecture, oh, also, I'm not finished. Marie Curie was also the first woman to win Nobel Prizes in the sciences, in the two that she did, and she's still the only person, male or female, to have ever won 2 Nobel Prizes in 2 different science fields. So she won it in physics and in chemistry. And yeah, and she's still the only person ever to have won that. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to do this piece for. But anyway, I'm finished talking about her now. So if you tuned out, then you can come back if you zoned out a bit. But yeah, so if I've got a picture of where I was, I'll pop that up. But this is where I am now. And that's, so oops. So yeah, so I've managed to get all this chair done, apart from the beads that are on her necklace that hang down just where that line is. So you see that line, yeah. But I've got managed to get all the chair done and her bodice, again apart from the beads. And I finished all this dress. So this is the end of the first page. So the pattern is on two sides of a piece of paper. This one, so that's the end of where the first page is. And then I started on her skin. This is on her elbow, her arm, and again I'm doing the skin 1/1, and I'm doing the same sort of feathering technique again. So so what I've done is I've photocopied that part of the pattern, and I'm drawing on it, sort of sketching on it where I want the colours to fade in to each other. But yeah, so that is what I've done that one. So yeah, so really loving this piece. It is still, every time I get it out, I remember how big it is. It is way bigger than I ever think it is. You know, every time I look, it's bigger than I remember. So, because basically what I've done so far of the dress is about that above my finger. So that's the first page, and then all of that dress is on the second page, and I haven't even started that bit yet. So yeah, so every time I look, I think, oh, I'm getting on really well, and then I remember and look at the other side of the pattern, and no. So yeah, so no sort of time limit on this one. You know, there's no oh, I want it finished by a certain time, but I know it's always bigger than I'll ever remember it is. But yeah, but I'm loving the way that looks. So loving how it's coming up there. So, and then lastly, I worked on my other Haid. So this one has also got a goal for the end of the year. I want to get 20% of this done by the end of the year. Now this one is a regular size, one sort of regular colours. Again, I'm not going to unroll this one because all of this bit at the top is just background. So it's basically just more of this, well no, that's a fancy bit of background there. It's just more of this kind of plain brown. So I haven't unrolled it really. I'll unroll the bottom though, so you can see where I've got to, because I've got to the bath that she's in. I will have a picture up at the side so you can see what I'm on about. Have I? Yes. So, and there is, you know, I really should have been a bit more organised, shouldn't I? But I was not. But there is, let me pull those up. There we go. So that is the start of the bath there. So yeah, so that's the corner of the bath, and then sort of that's her hair that I'm working on there. And I think, looking at Pattern Keeper, I think as I progress up to this bit here, I think I just get to her face, like her forehead, because her hair's swooped back. So I think, but on the next strip down, I will definitely be onto her face there, which I'm looking forward to. So yeah, so I've done, so nearly 20%. So this is 226,000 stitches, the whole piece. I only remember that because I was doing the maths on it earlier. And Coco's just stood on my notebook and knocked it on the floor. So that's what the nice slippy noise was that you heard. See, she's been annoying now, just to pay me back for dressing her up. That's what it is. Aren't you, Coco? She's sat underneath the camera, so if the camera suddenly wobbles. Yeah. But anyway, but yeah, so I've done, I think, yeah, I've got 3,510 stitches left to do by the end of the year. So this one should be quite easy to get done. This one I'm doing on 25 count white Lugana, and it is antique white, sorry, and 1/1 full cross, this one. So this was the first one that I started, and then I started on the bigger one, and it was between the time that I started this one and the time that I started that one that I was sort of looking on the sort of Haid Facebook page at some of the other stitchers, sorry, and was looking at them that had done the 10 stitch, and it looked okay, so I started that, and it does look okay. And there we go. So wrap that one back up. So yeah, I know some people are averse to the 10 stitch. I've got quite a few other Haid designs, but a lot of them are minis. I bought the mini versions purely because these two were my favourite. So the bookshelf, the Animal Kingdom bookshelf, was the first piece that I ever bought, and it was the first piece I looked at, and I really loved that piece, and I thought if I'm going to do it, that's the one that I want to do big. But I knew that there's no way I could do, you know, that another supersized one. So I'm budgeting for that one to take me 20 years. There's no way I would be able to then do another one as well, or if I did, I'd have to start it after that, and then I would be like 70 before I finished, and no. So so a lot of the other designs I've got are minis. Now them I'll probably do in full cross again, but that massive one, there's no way that I've got the time. Like if I was doing that in full crosses, that would probably take me 40 years, because you're doing twice the number of stitches basically, and there's no way. In fact, I lie, there is one full cross in that design, and that's the polar bear's eye, and that's the only full cross that I put in, because when I put the half in it looked a bit odd. So that's the only full cross that's in there so far. Now I might put some others in there, you know, as I go along, but yeah, so that's that one. So yeah, so that's the four things that I worked on this month. So not as many as I thought, but there we go. And 3 of them I'll be working on next month. So next month, I'll be November, but I'm going to start the month with the Queen of the Deep Cell. So get the November piece done on that. So I'll be stitching on that for however long it takes me to do. So I don't know, maybe it's 4 days, maybe it's 5 if a lot of it's the skin. So I know it's a bit higher up her body, but I don't know how much of it's going to be skin, and the skin being the 1/1 is going to take me longer. So yeah, so the first 4 or 5 days I've budgeted for that, and then I want to get some more done on my 2 heids. So I want to get half of the number of stitches that I've still got to go to the end of the year. So that'll be about 1,700 on the bath time one, and about 5,000 on the big one, on the Animal Kingdom one. So, and then that leaves me the rest of the month to play with another project. So I haven't decided what I'm going to pull out yet. Yeah, I've literally nothing. I've got no idea. It would be nice to pull Veronica out again, but I do want to rotate around some of my pieces. I have so many whips that I want to try and rotate around them. And I'll come on to my plans for that in a moment. But where was I? You know, I can't read this off the floor, sorry. I'll have to pick it up. Right, I picked it up off the floor. Okay, so next was haul. So I've got a little bit of haul, and a bit of stitchy kindness. So it's been my little pile. So the first thing I have is, this was, and if it's not written here in her parcel, I'm going to have to look it up because I can't remember. No, it is Jess Trounce. So she was basically auctioning off some of her pieces for Black Lives Matter charity. So she's on Etsy as Jess Trounce Art. So that's her Etsy just there, if you can see that. And yes, and this was the one that I'd got. So I think me, Michelle Bendy and I had both voted for this one, and then Michelle swapped to a different one so that I could have this one. So thank you very much, Michelle. But yeah, but this is gorgeous lady. So the lady is painted. So this lady's painted on, and then all of this is all embroidered flowers and stitches and leaves all the way along, all in the different colours, and it's absolutely stunning. So yeah, so this, it took quite a while to come through the post, but you know, with COVID post. So, but yeah, but it is so cute. So need to find somewhere to pop this. It has got a little ribbon on the back, sort of to hang it up. But yeah, so that's going to be my job now, is to get some of my goodies on the wall and some of my little pieces. So, and it came sort of all gift wrapped, sort of between card to keep it safe, and then in this tissue, and then in a jiffy bag I think as well, so it was really well wrapped. So yes, so that was that one. And then I got, and again I'm going to have to open the business card because my brain doesn't work. This was from Agnes, there we go, over at Agnes's Little Minders, so again on Etsy. So I don't know if you can see her little sign there, little dragon. So this was a needle minder, and she does the clay, like modelling clay. It's not called modelling clay, you know what it's called. But yeah, so, and have I got something to hold it up against? No, of course I haven't. Oh, you'll have to soften my hand. But yeah, but it is a little dragon. So yeah, so that's its little face. It's got a Swarovski crystal there and a couple of little ones here. But it is a little dragon. Why do I bother holding things up to this camera? No, I'm going to put a picture in so that you can see it because it's so cute. So I will put pictures in over the screen here. So yes, it's got little wings and a little smiley face. So cute. So yeah, so that was from Agnes. So again, she's over on Etsy, and I'm sure she's in the UK. Now that I've said that, I'm getting really confused. She must be in the UK because it took like 2 days to get here. And I'm pretty sure if it was coming from anywhere that wasn't the UK, it would have taken a lot longer. But yeah. But it came in a little box. A tea bag. Little tea bag. Yeah, they're British tea bags, must have been. Yeah. And a lolly in there. So all nice and cute. That was that one. And then this one came today. And that is the 2 needle minders for the Queen of the Deep sale. Bless Cassie, because I saw this was the one that I wanted, and when they first sort of launched the sale and showed the needle minders, I went onto their Etsy store and this one had sold out, and I was really sad because I couldn't get it. And this blue one was the one that I really wanted. So I think this was Aaron's design and this was Cassie's design. Not that I'm picking sides, but I wanted this one. So, and then they were sold out, and then I got I think I saw a message, maybe it was on their Facebook or something, that they'd got back in, and I went on and saw this and ordered it and paid for it and built it. And then about 3 seconds after that, I saw they had the twin pack, and because of the shipping being so much, I thought, well, I'll get the twin pack because then because obviously it'll ship for the same price. And that's why I had to message Cassie. I was like, I've just placed an order, can I cancel it please so that I can order this? And bless her, yeah, she got back to me really quickly and was like, yeah, we'll cancel that, there you go, you can buy them both. So yeah, so I got both of them. And they're actually, they got, well, they're not heavy, but they have got a bit of weight to them. They're not like plastic, they're sort of metal. Let's have a look. Yeah, they're sort of they're really decent metal. So I could do some tapping, I don't know what it is. But yeah, so they're really decent metal, and they're embossed, but they're flat, so they'll hold your needles properly. Because sometimes I find the ones that are wibbly wobbly on the top, you can't put the needles on them properly because they kind of don't stick. But these ones are sort of flat. You can see there against my cheek that they're flat. So yes, so that came about an hour ago. So we got that. And then lastly is I won, I think it was someone was giving away on the Facebook sort of stash, de-stash page, was giving a memorabilia away. And this one is the Rose of Sharon. So it's a 1994 design there. And as soon as I saw it, I thought that would make a really nice Belle from Beauty and the Beast. Okay, so because you've got the roses on the archway and she's in the yellow dress. So what I'm thinking of doing is, I'm not sure whether I want to change the blue into yellows as well. I might do, because her dress was all yellow, but I want to rechart her hair, because her hair is kind of quite cropped short and put up. Obviously Belle had quite long hair, so I want to sort of rechart that so that the hair's sort of coming down her back a little bit. You know, someday when I get good at recharging. So I might have a look at some of the other sort of charts that I've got and see if any of them have the longer hair that I can kind of superimpose onto this design. So that's my goal anyway. But yeah, so I won't be starting this one yet because I need to work out what I'm doing with that. But yes, so, and I won that from, I think it was Jade. So there we go. So yes, and oh, and I did win a giveaway, and that's one of my shout outs is for Andrea C. So I'll pop her name up here. She's as I heart cross stitch on Instagram and Flosstube, and yeah, I won one of her giveaways for a chart for it's like a kitchen. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's a like kitchen stovetop, and it's like an old Aga, sort of blue Aga, and there's a couple of cats on it and some plates and things. And actually we're just redecorating our kitchen, and I thought that would go really nice in our kitchen. So obviously I'll have to frame it behind glass because it's a kitchen, but yeah. So that's what I'm going to be doing that one for. You know, because it's not like I've got any other projects that are on the go at the minute that need finishing. So, but yeah, so that's Andrea C. And so yeah, oh yeah, and this was where I was copying her rotation. So she, her rotation, she does her oldest and then her smallest and then a gift. So that's how she works. So she works on an oldest whip, a smallest whip, and then a gift. And I thought, you know what, I thought I don't have that many gifts, but I do have an oldest whip and a smallest whip. And I figured that would be a nice way to try and work through some of my whips. Because obviously working on your smallest whip, in theory, you should finish it quicker and get through them quite quick. And working on your oldest is nice to get those finally finished and out on the wall. So yeah, so like I said, I'm not sure about right now because I'm a bit behind on my 2 heids and I need to kind of get those in. And my oldest whip is another full coverage, and I thought if I'm working quite a lot on my 2 full coverages here, I don't want to then pull out another whip that's also a full coverage. So I might not do that just yet. So, but definitely for the new year, that would be my goal, is to do my monthly sort of amount of stitches on my 2 heids, and then be working on my oldest whip and my shortest whip, smallest whip. But I also thought, well, some of my whips are quite small, but I have got a couple of whips I know that I actually have less to finish on them than what I have on my other smallest whip. So I might put those together and it'd be like the one that's got the least left to finish, instead of the smallest in size. But yes, so yes, I'm kidnapping Andrea's idea, and that is what I will be doing sort of in the future. So there we go. And who else? Oh, I also wanted to shout out Alma. So Alma, her channel is Alma's Little Wonders, and she got a design recently. I think it was her, not her last video, but her one before. Or it might be 2 before, because I'm pretty sure she's put another video out today. So a couple of videos ago, she showed up a design from Tilton Crafts, and I'll put a picture of it here. Now, I bought this quite a while ago. I bought it with about 2 or 3 others, and when I bought it, it was called Caramel Macchiato, and I believe it was called that when she bought it as well. But it has, as far as I could gather from what she said, if I remembered correctly, it has been renamed as an Ariana Grande piece, because it does look very similar to her. That wasn't the reason I bought it. I bought it because I love the colours on it and she looked quite pretty, and I quite like a caramel macchiato as a drink, so that sold that to me. But yeah, and I think Alma's wanting to start it in the new year at some point, so I might have to start kitting that up and then start it when she starts it as well, maybe, you know, because it's not like I have a load of full coverages on the go. So I'm also wanting to start one of my littler heids as well, but I can't start everything. I did have a bit of a kind of a crisis the other day. actually had a bit of a cry because I was looking at all my stuff that I wanted to do and I realised that I just don't have time to do it all, and I was getting a bit stressed with that I want to do this and I want to do this one and this project, and I've got all these heids and I've got all these kits and I've got all these designs in magazines, and kind of my brain just got caught up in thinking that I didn't have enough time and that, and yeah, I did get a bit upset, but I think that's just what happens. There's so many lovely things out, and I think I know I can't do all of them, and I have to come to terms with that I do have more stash, or not stash, threads, and that I don't have an infinite amount of thread or fabric, but patterns I have way more than I will ever be able to stitch. So what I'm going to be doing over this next sort of week or two is I'm going to be going through all my magazines that I've got, because I have hundreds of magazines, patterns ripped out of magazines. I just have so much stuff, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to pull out the ones that either I have duplicates of, because I 100% know that there are some that I have more than one of. There are also some that I've sort of bought the design from the designer, forgetting that I had it in a magazine from a couple of years ago. So I know there's a couple of Lucy Heaton ones that I've done that with. So yeah, so I'm going to be going through all of my charts and pulling out ones that either I have duplicates of, or that I just don't think I'll stitch, or I just don't love them as much as I love the other designs. So because there are some that are gorgeous, but I just wouldn't stitch them. You know, they're pretty to look at, but I wouldn't have it on my wall. So I'm going to try and sort of cull through them, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what a lot of other Flosstubers do, where I'm going to sort of give them away on my channel. So they'll be obviously torn out of magazines, because most of them already are, and I will just fold them up into an envelope and post them out to you. So they will be ripped out of magazines, they will be folded, but yeah, and that's what I'm going to be doing, because I know I won't get to them. There's no way. I think I have what have I got? I have maybe 15 or 16 Haids. I have 5 Tilton Crafts, and I have about 6 from Shiny Suns. So what's that? Pushing 30 full coverage designs, and that's not including my mirrors, for which I have maybe 7 now. I have 5 or 6 lavender and lace. I have, you know, well, I have 9 sals that I haven't finished that we went through. I've just bought Brittany over at Ingleside Imaginarium her 4 cats for Halloween. So her Batty Cat and etc. I'll put a picture over on her Etsy. I've just been and bought those. So I had those, just, you know, I don't have the time. I could not sleep ever again, and I still would not have time to stitch them all. So yes, so make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell so you'll get notifications when I post my videos, so that then you can have a look and see what I'm giving away. So, and I think that is it for cross stitch. So I have a wee bit of knitting to do. Yes, so a wee bit of knitting to do. So this is, now I've misplaced the pattern to this. I had a quick recce for it and couldn't remember where I put it. So it's a basic repeat that I'm doing at the minute. Not basic, but it's a 16 row repeat. And so I put the pattern away nice and safe, because I had the pattern in my head, the repeat. So you know when you put things nice and safe and then you never find them ever again? Yeah, that's what I did. So, but yeah, this is going to be a cardigan. This is the back panel. So I love this braided, oh, it went a really weird colour there, didn't it? Oh, my phone really doesn't like this colour. So this is the colour that it is. So it's like this teal, right? But I love this braid in the middle. So yeah, it's not this grey at all. It's a really bright colour. And then this is the front panel. And then you pick up stitches along this end to do the bit where you put the buttons. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah. So this is the back panel, and yeah, and I think I've got 4 more rows to do, and then I get up to where I need to split for the arms. Now this pattern isn't written to be done in the round like this, so it's written to do the 2 side panels and then the back separate, but I hate seaming. I don't seam. The less seaming I can do, the better. So I converted the pattern to be done in the round. So yeah, so I will be splitting sort of here where my little pins are. That's where the split should have been, but I've obviously stitched it together. So yeah, so, and that's as far as I've got so far. So maybe halfway, because obviously I've got the sleeves to do as well. So this wool is from Hobbycraft, so it's a Women's Institute wool, and it's an Aran weight, soft and snuggly, I think it is. It's their Aran weight one, they only do one, I think. So yeah, it comes in a giant 400g ball, of which that's all I've got left of this first one. So I think it will need 2 balls, which is fine because I have about 6 of them. They were on offer, don't judge me. So yeah, the only bit that really annoys me, and it looks lovely, but it does my head in, is the basket, this basket weave here. So going knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2. And that is just, because if I knit in a straight line, I can knit quite fast if I purl, but going from knit to purl, knitting to purling, that takes me a lot longer. So that's slowing me down a bit. So that's the only problem with that one. But I am hoping that's all finished by Christmas. So I've got some new needles. My local wool shop have ordered some new needles for me because I need some smaller round needles. Again, I don't like seaming, so I'm going to use the smaller circulars to do the sleeves, so I don't have to seam the sleeves either. So all I'll have to do is stitch the sleeve to the body, and that's it. So there'll be no other seaming to do, which is a bonus in my book. So yes, and that one is nice and quiet, which means they've gone out. So that one is going to be a present for my dad. So that's his Christmas present, is what I'm stitching. And yes, he does live in the same house. So as far as he knows, I'm doing it for myself, because you can't really tell the difference between it being a man's cardie or a girl's cardie at the minute, and while I'm stitching it and it's all bunched up. So if he asks, it's for me. So there we go. But yes, and I think that's all done. So I think that's it for this video. So yes, that was my October recap and a little bit on my November plans. So yeah, so obviously I'll be getting more done on that cardigan. And yeah, so you'll have to tune in obviously towards the end of November to see what my other project was that I worked on that wasn't any of those 3, and to have a look and see what I found in my stash to give away. But yeah, I think that's everything. I tend to get to the end and then say all my goodbyes and stop the video, and then I think, oh, I forgot to say that, and I forgot to show this, and I didn't do that, and I didn't do... I even write myself a list and I still forget things, but I'm pretty sure that is us all done. So I hope everyone's had you know, if you see this today, I hope everyone is going to have a good evening, or you had a good Halloween. Hope you stayed socially distanced, you stayed safe, enjoyed the candy or whatever you do for Halloween. If you don't celebrate Halloween, well, I hope you had a good Saturday. And yeah, and that is us all done. So are you going to come down and say goodbye? No, you're not going to come down. No, you're just going to sit there. Yeah. Okay. You coming? There we go. So we're going to say bye-bye to all the lovely people. She's like, why are you showing me to your phone? She's this really weird. No, but yes, so have a lovely Halloween, have a lovely Saturday, stay safe in November, Black Lives still matter, I love you. Be good. Bye bye.